Hey everybody, and welcome to Studio 64. My name's David. I've been searching the interzones for some more science, space and tech news to share with you. Came across this at The Bite. Yes, an update on our StarLemon, as I call it, from Boeing. It's sounding like Boeing Starliner may have completely failed. Sounds pretty bad up there. Yeah, it's not good. Orbit error. Okay. It looks like NASA officials might be seeing the writing on the wall for the very troubled Boeing Starliner, which has marooned 2 astronauts up in space for almost 2 months due to technical issues. Yeah, I've been saying this in countless videos if you've been following the channel. They either have to get Elon Musk to go and get them in a Dragon capsule, or they're going to have to, eat humble pie and go and get Putin to go and get them in a Soyuz capsule. Fascinating. An unnamed informed source told Ars Technica that there's a greater than 50% probability that the stranded astronauts will end up leaving the International Space Station on a Dragon X capsule, with another unnamed person telling the news outlet that the scenario is highly likely. I think it's more than highly likely. I think it's pretty much definite. NASA officials are more cagey about what's happening on the record. A marked contrast from previous weeks when they expressed confidence in the Starliner's ability to safely bring back the astronauts. Now, as usual, I'll leave the link to the main article below the video, so you can pop in, check out these embedded links, go for a bit of a deeper dive if you want. Makes for an interesting read, believe me. Now, NASA is evaluating all options for the return of agency astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams from the International Space Station as safely as possible, NASA spokesperson Josh Finch told Ars. Now, no decisions have been made, and the agency will continue to provide updates on its planning. Yeah, in other words, evaluating all options. So that does include Pooty Poots or Elon Musk. The Starliner project has been cursed from the beginning, with delays and hardware issues during the development production of the capsule, which has seen Boeing eating something like $1.6 billion in losses. Now, if I was a US citizen paying tax, I'd be very upset about that. Extremely upset. You got basically, Elon Musk got half the money with SpaceX, and look how successful it's been getting the cargo runs and astronauts back and forth to the space station. Fascinating, isn't it? Now, despite technical troubles before the launch, NASA went ahead with Starliner's first crewed mission in June. Now, while on approach towards the space station, Starliner experienced helium leaks and issues with its thrusters, forcing NASA and Boeing to delay its return home with the astronauts so that engineers back on the ground could troubleshoot the problems. Now, I've said this in multiple videos, so I won't go over it again. I believe DEI has a lot to do with this. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'll state this once. I don't care if you are a blue-haired, identify as a blue-haired non-binary wombat on Thursdays. Make sure you're a good aerospace engineer first. All right? If you want to celebrate your diversity, I'll happily celebrate it down at the pub with you on Friday afternoon after work, and we'll celebrate, oh, you've changed your hair from blue to green now, have you? That's fine. But keep it out of work. I don't care if you're gay, black, or straight. Sideways with purple stripes down your bloody left ear roll. I don't care. Okay? Make sure you do your job first. Okay? When it comes to people's lives, this is far too important than be worrying about identity politics. Okay? It's that simple. I'm happy to celebrate anybody's whatever they want to identify as, but not at work. And this, we're seeing the effect of this now. Yes, fess up. Many signs are now pointing towards SpaceX recruiting the stranded astronauts, according to Ars. These signs include the space agency giving more than $250,000 to SpaceX for a special study for emergency response, and SpaceX actively training for the likely situation of the company sending a Dragon capsule to the space station to bring the astronauts home. Predicted this so many times in multiple videos on the channel. Yep, it's going to have to happen. It's going to have to happen. And as for giving $250,000 to SpaceX for a special study and emergency response, dear Lord, I know it's not that simple, but from a layman's point of view, Elon, just send a rocket up and get them. I know it's not that simple. I'm not that naive. All right? I'm not an aerospace engineer or whatever the case, no scientist. All these videos I make, I don't claim to be a scientist, aerospace engineer, any expert like that at all. But I know Elon, if he wanted to, could arrange a rocket to do so. He may need permission. There's a lot of legalities probably to go through. I don't know. But something needs to be done because I'm worried about the 2 astronauts that are up there. Now, if SpaceX does get the green light, expect the Starliner project to be shoved into the proverbial dumpster, according to ARS analysis. Now, it would be a bad look all round because it would mean the American government has funneled a total of $5.8 billion into malfunctioning junk. Now, here's the interesting part. That's nearly $6 billion of taxpayers' money. Is it just going to be forgotten outside the next news cycle? Probably. It's ridiculous. $5.8 billion into something that's rubbish. I did a video yesterday on the American Mars rover that has now been scrapped. I mean, for God's sake. It was supposed to be an advanced scout for the bloody Artemis missions. They're even selling the spare parts off. But who are they selling them to for a Mars rover? Are they going to sell them and turn them into a microwave? Or are they selling to the the Chinese and the Russians so they can make them? Hopefully they're selling them to the Japanese. Or the Indians would be good. So they can build their rovers, but not the Chinese and the bloody Russians. You'll probably find out that's exactly where they're going. It's ridiculous. If this scenario, that's a possibility. Anything's possible. If this scenario happens with Starliner not deemed safe enough for human travel, we hope politicians and others investigate what went wrong. Yeah, and you'll have a congressional hearing in America, and there'll be lots of, ooh, 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 harumph, harumph, can I have an harumph, 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 and nothing will happen. You know what it's like. We have the same thing here in Australia. This is not a criticism of the United States people. This is simply a criticism to say that we have the same garbage here. We have royal commissions and all this sort of stuff. And what happens? Harumph, 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 harumph. And then 20 years later, you're still discussing the same issues. So this is, I see this all over the world. So it just frustrates the hell out of me. Yeah. So we hope politicians and others investigate what went wrong, given that SpaceX has managed to build the immensely more reliable Dragon capsule at 50% less cost than Boeing's spacecraft. Dear Lord. What kind of oversight did NASA bring to the Starliner program during its development production process? That's just one hard question among many. No, it's not. It's probably bloody DEI. Well, we don't want to offend people. Yeah, well, great. As long as people aren't offended, if StarLemon comes back down and the 2 astronauts burn up in the atmosphere, as long as people's fee-fees aren't hurt. Oh, Jesus. Absolutely unbelievable. It's absolutely atrocious. Boeing should be ashamed of themselves, and it sounds to me like the whole damn thing's completely failed, and I agree with Sharon Adalo up here. It's absolutely appalling. As I said, and if I was a US taxpayer, I wouldn't be happy at all. All right, well, my name is David. Thanks for joining me for another Studio 64 Science, Space and Tech News Update. I shall see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. If you're up for it, drop a comment down below the video. Love to hear what you think. All right, take care. And as I always say, if you can't be good at it. And as I also always say,
I'll be back.